How do we get these fish in this massive aquarium to find this anemone? Here's a clue, but will it work? This is a very happy rose-tip anemone living in the aquarium at Center in the Square in Roanoke, Virginia. It's in our living reef aquarium, which is free to the public. It's got corals, it's got reef-safe fish, invertebrates, you name it, lots of clownfish, but those fish have no interest in the anemones. People want to see clownfish in the anemones. So we have a colony of 5 pink skunk clowns. They're ready to be released into the reef, but we want to make sure they find the spot that we want. We want them to live in that anemone. So we want to see if we can force the issue just a little bit. Our group of pink skunk clownfish has been living in our quarantine system for several weeks here at Center in the Square. Now we're going to take them upstairs to the big tank, and we have a devious plan to see if we can make them choose to live in that anemone. So we're going to see if we can deliver them directly into the anemone, and we don't want to have to then wonder for days or weeks if they'll ever find it or host in it. So in order to do that, we have got a long length of PVC pipe. And once those clownfish are acclimated, we hope to release them into the tank directly into the bubble tip, which will require standing on top of the aquarium and finding a way to get those fish to land exactly where we want them. So our plan is to have Stephen from Carlin Aquarium Systems be on top of that fish tank, holding the pipe steady, and then place the clowns one by one into the pipe, into the waiting tentacles of that bubble tip. I think there's a pretty good chance it'll work. Stephen's not so sure.
If I had to guess, I'd say 50-50. Either they're just going to be happy in their new home, or they're just going to swim right out and find a better home for them.
I didn't make this up. I first heard about this trick several years ago on YouTube on V-Leb's Reef, which is a great YouTube channel, by the way. And he has a large aquarium in his living room, and I saw him try it there, so I thought, well, why not here? But of course, this is about an 8,000-gallon reef, including what you see here and the water and the life support system down below. So it's a little bit different. Now we have to hold the pipe close enough that the fish find the bubble tip, but not too close.
So I really don't want to upset the anemone, because if it gets bumped by anything, it's going to shrivel up, and then there won't be anywhere for the clownfish to swim into.
Another concern going in is that as a bubble tip, it's not the type of anemone that skunk clowns automatically prefer. They'll host in a lot of different species, but there is some question as to whether they'll like the bubble tip. And if this doesn't work, there's always the chance that they might host in another smaller bubble tip on the other side of the aquarium. All right, here we go.
Fish are going in.
First fish. Pink skunks are not only pretty, they tend to be social with one another, and they do live in small groups in the wild. And of course, we're hoping that's what they'll do here. Not only would this be a great fun experiment, but it would really make the aquarium that much more interesting to the public who are visiting Center in the Square. In order to stress them as little as possible, Stephen would use his hands so he could place each fish in the pipe one at a time. Remember, it's about 18 inches from the top of that pipe down to the water line, and we didn't want to just drop them into the water. He put them in one by one, and then we waited to see what would happen. But at first, it was nothing because the fish decided to stay in the pipe. We tried to get a quick shot of them in the pipe, and it came out okay, just so you can see what we're doing. So then a little gentle prodding from a net handle was all they needed, and slowly out they came. right, well, we are very excited because it appears to have worked mostly. So here's what happened. As you saw, the fish came out of the tube. We had to prod them a little bit, and they landed in the anemone. And they stayed there for a second, but then they found the hammer coral, the Ophelia, just about 6 or 8 inches away. And so far they seem to be preferring that. I'll take that because it still looks the same to the public. It's still interesting to watch. And we still don't know whether they're going to wind up. They've been going back and forth for the last 15 or 20 minutes or so between the bubble tip and the hammer coral. But I'll tell you what, if they're in the hammer coral, that's still a win because it's kind of fun to watch and all the fish are staying together as opposed to being dispersed throughout the aquarium. The experiment worked. Over a week later, the colony of skunk clowns is living in or around the bubble tip and the hammer coral. They seem to have taken over that little section of the aquarium as their home. And we have yet to see them venture away from that little territory. The bubble tip and the hammer coral have accepted them and are none the worse for the wear with their new residents, which can sometimes be a problem. And remember, the clownfish are native to the Indo-Pacific region from the Great Barrier Reef to the Eastern Indian Ocean, but they seem to have found a wonderful new home at Center in the Square where you can come and visit them.
Oh, did you see it? Oh! Up to one.